Saturday, November 16, 2024. This is Rick with the Mercedes Diesel Guide channel, and behind me is my 2002 Mercedes-Benz ML320. I've actually had it parked now this is the third weekend in a row. I'm trying to get it back on the road today. It was just kind of due for a little maintenance, so I've been picking at it here and there as I've had time on the weekends, and I'm hoping to finish it up today. Let's see, what have I done? Actually, last weekend I had all of this off here. I replaced the EGR valve, which is back down here. I don't really think you can see it. I mean, this corrugated metal pipe does screw into it. You can't really see the EGR from here. You got to take this intake tube out. Not the easiest thing in the world to reach. Ended up also taking off the valve covers, which I was going to do anyway because I wanted to put in new valve cover gaskets. They've been seeping ever since I got the car, and I just decided to live with it for the most part. But those are done now, including the upper sections here. I didn't take any video here. There was a lot of old sludge buildup inside the valve covers. I don't know if that indicates anything specific with the engine. Like I said, I doubt this thing had the best of care before I owned it, but it's been running and driving great for the past 6 months, which is about how long I've had it on the road now. But it's due for an oil change, so I figured I would take care of some other stuff while I had it in. Like I said, getting the valve cover gaskets done. It took me forever to clean up the insides of the valve covers, and they're in two sections. There's the main section down here, but then this upper section also on each side unbolts, and it's not, I don't think there's a specific gasket for this. I used Permatex Right Stuff gasket maker, which is kind of my go-to for these things. So hopefully that's all back together and it won't seep or leak anymore. Last weekend when I got it together, I did start it up and run it for a couple of minutes, and might just be wishful thinking, but it did seem to run a little smoother. There are breather tubes that go here into the valve covers, and like I said, that was all gunked up, and these breather passageways were blocked off with just old gunk, so I spent a bunch of time cleaning all of that out. So hopefully that'll help it run better. And then, you know, with a lot of these original hoses here, they had turned rock hard and just shattered on removal, so I ended up replacing these with generic hose, but I didn't see any reason to go out and try to track down the official Mercedes hoses on these. So trying to think, was there anything else I replaced up here? I don't think so. I think that was about it. At some point in the past couple of months, I did replace the airflow meter. Sorry, it just took me a second to lock into the part name, and when I put this back together last weekend, I forgot to reclip this, so just clip that. So that's new, because I had been getting intermittently some codes over the summer. Seems to have cleared itself, and the codes would just clear themselves out, so there was something intermittent going on here. And I ran the codes, and the airflow meter did seem like one of the suspects. It wasn't too expensive, so I put a new one in. I was getting an EGR valve code, so I did replace that. I've seen videos where you can clean them, but once again, I just decided to go with the new one because this engine has well over 200,000 miles on it. So that's all the parts I want to replace, but I do want to do an oil change and then also another transmission fluid change. I changed the transmission fluid when I bought it. It's been shifting well, but clearly the fluid was old at the time, hadn't been touched in a while. So I'm basically just doing another drain and fill. I'm not replacing the filter again. And I think the next oil change, I will do one more drain and fill, and then it should be good for a while. Once again, I like to keep the fluid as fresh as possible. I know that a lot of mechanics will say, look, if the fluid is old and you have an old car and it hasn't been changed, don't touch it. But your mileage may vary. I've always done well to replace it, and the way I look at it is that if you change the transmission fluid on your old car and all of a sudden, you know, your transmission won't shift, won't go into gear, you didn't break the transmission by changing the fluid. I mean, that transmission was already probably about to give up the ghost. I don't think you're going to get another 50,000 miles out of a transmission that stops working if you change the fluid. I don't think you'll get another 20. I don't even think you'll get another 10. But once again, just my feelings on that matter. So I'm going to change that. And then there's a couple other things I want to change in here. That was all the parts for under the hood anyway. In this box here, I have a new fuel pump. And somewhere in this pile here, I have a new fuel filter. Now, I did make an attempt at replacing the fuel filter right before I got this vehicle on the road, but I absolutely could not get it out from under the wheel well. Could not get the old one disconnected, so it just kind of stayed in place. So I've seen some other videos that, if I understand them correctly, it makes it seem like if you disconnect the fuel filter connections at the fuel pump, it should be easier to get it out. And since I want to do the fuel pump anyway, that seems like a good opportunity to do both. And you might be wondering why I want to replace the fuel pump. Well, it's a preemptive measure. I have literally no idea how old the fuel pump is here in the car. It might be original. It may have been replaced at some point. I have zero records. But in my experience, the fuel pump is going to go bad on me on the highway in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. That just tends to be how it happens for me. And then I'm stuck waiting for a tow, and then I'm at the mercy of the situation. That's what happened to me with my Volvo about 2.5 years ago. I had the family on vacation, and we were coming home from vacation, and I think it was late probably on a Sunday evening. The fuel pump went out on the highway, and we sat there for hours waiting for a tow. And then the next morning, I really didn't have a choice except to replace the fuel pump in the hotel parking lot, and thankfully I was able to do it pretty quickly and got us home. I think doing the fuel pump is a little more involved in this vehicle, so it's not something I want to trifle with on the side of the road. So just want to get that taken care of, and I'll keep the old one as a spare because it is still working. But this way I won't have to rely on it. So that's where I am. I know I've not filmed a lot of updates on this car. Everything's kind of dirty in here right now, but it's been a really great vehicle for me. So hopefully at some point I'll get back to more project-based videos. Still don't have time for that, but it is always at the back of my mind. So this is Rick with the Mercedes Diesel Guy channel. Thanks for watching.